videos on her channel, as by this point she was so far removed from reality that she truly believed that the two were lovers, and that Sap was communicating with her telepathically and was somehow always with her. By the time December had rolled around, Teleka's tweeting grew increasingly dark, as she began to write about demons and how they were affecting her. Writing on the 4th of December, "You reach me through a demonic portal. That gives demons power over me and dilutes my spiritual authority. Please understand that I must protect myself spiritually." The very next day, Teleka would go through each of her Twitter accounts, delete everything, and vanish alongside of the road. The discovery of these accounts adds a whole new element to the case and seems to point to one obvious conclusion, that at the time of the disappearance, Teleka was likely in the midst of some sort of severe psychotic break. But this still fails to explain what exactly had led to her actual disappearance. This question spurred on 3 prominent theories. One, that she had simply gone off into the woods alongside of the road attempting to hide from someone. That just wasn't actually...
Who is she hiding from? Who is this young woman hiding from? Who? Who is this young woman? Miss Patrick. That's her name. Miss Patrick. Who is Miss Patrick hiding from? Her lover that you guys don't believe that she's with? Her coworker? Her family member? Her non-existent boyfriend? The man, the people that work at the hotel, the shuttle driver, her coworker. Who is she hiding from? If she was hiding from someone, if that's what they're speculating, why not delve deep? Why not delve deep into who she might have been hiding from? Maybe she was hiding from someone. Maybe there was someone that, she had an issue with. Had they maybe considered that? That maybe she had an issue with someone? Maybe she had an issue with someone. Maybe it wasn't who they thought she had an issue with. Maybe she didn't have, maybe it wasn't a man. Maybe it was a woman. You never know. Or maybe it was a man. Maybe she did have an issue with someone. Maybe figure out who she had this issue with. Who did she have a problem with? Stop going back to, she made some extra dinner for a man that no one knows who this is, and it's a lie, and it's non-existent, and, she's making it up, and she's delusional, and she had a psychotic episode. Okay. Let's go into that. Let's say this woman did have a mental disorder. What is her family? What is her community? What is law enforcement? What is America doing to help figure out how to solve issues like this? Okay, let's say she did have a mental disorder. What happened within that time period that transpired that could have maybe activated it? Had they maybe let's say she did have a mental disorder. Maybe she was suicidal. Maybe she committed suicide. Because I was looking at the comments. Some people were saying maybe she committed suicide. Okay, maybe she did. Consider that. If that is a possibility, which I highly doubt, if that is a possibility, maybe delve into why she might have been suicidal. What was going on in this young woman's life? What happened within 3 months of her life? What was going on within 3 months of her life between the 2 months prior to her being killed and the month that she disappeared and whatever happened to her, unfortunately happened to her? Figure out what was going on in her life. What was going on in her personal life at that time? That's what I would want to know. If I was her family member, I would want to know what happened to her in between 3 months of her life. What happened between okay, they said December 5th is when when the incident happened. What happened? Okay, what's before December? November, right? September, November, December, right? January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November. What happened to her in September, October, and November? What was going on in her life is September, October, and November. And then following the month of December, what happened to this young woman? What was going on in her life? Who was she dealing with? Who was she closely connected with at that time? That's what people need to be figuring out. Stop trying to analyze her, her YouTube page. Stop trying to, paint her as this, crazy, delusional female who got mental disorder. Maybe she did have mental disorder. If she did have mental disorder, figure out, was she taking medication? Was she diagnosed with something? Was she taking pills? There's a lot that's not being factored. There's a lot that's not being talked about. Was she taking pills? Was she taking pills for anything? Was she sleeping enough? Did she get enough sleep, adequate sleep? Did she get enough adequate sleep? Because adequate sleep plays a factor in a person's mental health. I will say this. Adequate sleep plays a factor in a person's mental health. Was she using any type of drugs? Even if her family didn't know about it. Even if her friends didn't know about it. Look through her phone. Like, you have access. Stop playing. Stop playing. Stop mother effing playing, okay? You have access to phones. You have access to emails. You have access to all her personal information. You know if this woman was involved into some things that she wasn't supposed to be involved in. Because if she wasn't, you would have... if she wasn't, obviously she wasn't because you haven't said anything. So maybe it's an ongoing investigation. But that's all I'm going to say about that for now. Let's continue.
There, and instead was merely a figment of her delusions. And
I was trying to say, let's continue.
Counts adds a whole new element to the case and seems to point to one obvious conclusion, that at the time of the disappearance, Teleka was likely in the midst of some sort of severe psychotic break. But this still fails to explain what exactly had led to her actual disappearance. This question spurred on three prominent theories. One, that she had simply gone off into the woods alongside of the road attempting to hide from someone that just wasn't actually there, and instead was merely a figment of her delusions. And when hiding in the woods, she then succumbed to hypothermia, as wintertime in Michigan is notoriously cold. Two, that in the midst of this psychotic break, she decided to leave all her belongings aside and essentially run away, hitching a ride to somewhere far away, possibly to start a new life. And finally, 3, the theory that she truly was being followed, and that someone had grabbed her alongside of the road leading to her disappearance, as after all, that's exactly where police dogs had lost her scent.
Later, a bloodhound tracked her scent directly from the car to the side of the road, and from there, the trail goes cold.
Some would even further theorize that perhaps the victim of Teleka's stalking may have had a hand in it, as by this point, Sapp was well aware of the woman and highly concerned with her behavior, which alone gave him a clear motive to protect his family. While others
Okay, so now they're saying that she stalked him. How? By tweeting him? That's how you stalk? So stalking is tweeting someone now. Stalking is texting someone, right? No, stalking is when you are in a vehicle or on foot in the physical location that someone you're watching is. That is stalking. Stalking is when you are in a physical location with someone that you are watching. That's stalking. Stalking is when you have this crazy thought in your mind and you go to that location of someone that you're stalking just to see what they're doing, who they're with, whatever it is. That's stalking. Just because this young woman tweets him does not mean she's stalking him. If they don't have any proof that she's stalking him, if they don't have any physical evidence that she's stalking him, she's not stalking him. Stalking someone is not tweeting them. You know how many women tweeted him? Now, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they have physical evidence that she was stalking. And if they do have physical evidence that she was stalking, I apologize for my big mouth. But I'm just being real. Tweeting is not stalking. Tweeting is tweeting.